I think for us it would have been. I mean, I'm always going to say this answer, but talk to customers sooner and talk to the people who are big influencers in our industry. And other than that, just sort of, I've read before that you should be embarrassed with your first release of your product. And as a young startup, we try to be as embarrassed as possible of our first release. So always just put something out there, regardless of whether you think it's cool or not, and see where it goes from there. So.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I mean, I think one piece of advice certainly that I would give is take customers that, you know, if it's someone that clearly has a lot of brand recognition, you know, like for you guys, I probably use Disney maybe as an example. For us, one of our first big customers was NBC Sports and Versus, and you know, it really pays off in the long run, even if you don't make money necessarily on that one. Because of the brand recognition. So I think that's really important, and I think I probably would have done more of that in the beginning than I did. We were lucky to have some, but I would do more.
Definitely being the steward of those kind of relationships is immensely important. Somebody needs to make sure they're handling that correctly, for sure. One that's important to us and that we, you know, have struggled to, or not struggled, but we've definitely had to learn lessons in, is the idea of being nimble. You know, you want to be able to move quickly as a startup or any business. You don't want to have to take a lot of time. And you know, if you're into design at all, then you may know the infamous story of right before Doug Bowman left Google, of sitting in a 3-hour meeting for them to try to decide which of 26 different shades of light blue they were going to use as shading on a particular thing at Google, and that was right before Doug left. He was in their design team or whatnot. And that's something that, you know, that particularly when your product is young or whatever, you often, at least to your own standards, you want it to be perfect. You know, you want to get things right, and you don't want there to be bugs. You want it to look the right way. And in the end, really good is a lot better. Really good and shipped is a lot better than perfect or on the way to perfect, but still on your desktop. You know, shipped is king. And you have to be flexible, and you have to be nimble, and you have to be able to cut things and edit yourself, and you know, say, okay, we're done. We can reiterate later. And that's one thing that definitely we try to continue to learn. Like, where can we trim the fat, for sure.